Sunshine Static Part 1. The bitter bloom and lingering warmth. The sunshine, after Caleb tasted of his quiet accusations. A warmth that settled on the skin and left the bone chilled with unvoiced things. Not a dramatic shiver, but a slow infiltration, like cold water seeping into well-worn leather. 3 months. 3 months since he'd folded himself from her life with the precision of a cartographer redrawing borders, gifting her a surprisingly neat territory and the prickling sense of being slightly misread. This morning, though, felt almost a defiance. Clara traced the chipped yellow rim of her mug, a miniature sun held in her hand, and breathed in the steam from her Earl Grey. The bakery down the street had perfected the almond croissant, flaky layers yielding to a marzipan heart, dusted with sugar that glittered like fractured hope. A new freelance gig designing branding for a sustainable coffee roaster felt genuinely good. Not just aesthetically pleasing. She was reclaiming space, one perfectly brewed cup and thoughtfully designed logo at a time. A small victory etched into the quiet rhythm of her day. Outside, the neighborhood hummed its familiar melody. Distant sirens threading through birdsong. The rhythmic thump of a basketball against asphalt. The low rumble of the morning commute. A barista called out an order. Extra foam. Just how you like it. Clara paused mid-bite. Caleb had said extra foam, as if it were a sigh of contentment. A private ritual for years. She hadn't realized how thoroughly she'd absorbed it, how it had become woven into the architecture of her own desires. It was just a phrase millions said it daily. Still, it felt resonant, like dropping a pebble into still water and watching the widening circles distort her reflection. A dog walker whistled as she passed, a jaunty tune Clara hadn't heard in ages. Their song, Neil Young's Harvest Moon, that had soundtracked countless late-night drives and lazy Sunday mornings when Caleb would braid strands of her hair while she slept. The melody tightened something in her chest. Not sadness exactly, but recognition sharp enough to sting. She forced a smile into place, smoothing it over her face like worn leather. The sunshine pressed against her skin, almost aggressive in its warmth, a counterpoint to the chill creeping at the edges of her contentment. The pottery class later was blissfully tactile. Cool clay yielded to her touch, grounding her in the present moment. But even there, amidst the swirling dust and focused concentration of her classmates, she noticed things. Old Man Hemlock across the room referred to his creations as little personalities, precisely as Caleb had described their succulents back home, the ones he'd named after obscure poets. A sudden flash. Caleb crouched beside their tiny garden, tracing the veins on a leaf with his fingertip and saying, "Each one has its own little drama unfolding." Was it simply osmosis? Were these phrases floating in the ether, waiting to be snagged by receptive ears? Or had Caleb somehow imprinted himself onto the world around her, leaving behind linguistic echoes that followed her like afterimages? It felt increasingly less like coincidence and more like a subtle colonization. Her identity felt less solid than she thought. Perhaps not carved from stone, but molded from borrowed phrases and shared experiences. A beautiful sculpture vulnerable to erosion by each passing breeze. She scribbled extra foam, Harvest Moon, little personalities in her notebook during lunch break, the pen scratching furiously against the paper as if chasing fleeting ghosts. She wrote them quickly before they dissolved back into the ordinary noise of the world. An attempt to corral chaos with ink and paper. It was ridiculous, she knew. Obsessing over minutiae while simultaneously attempting to build something substantial with her life. A particularly modern agony. Striving for authenticity within an increasingly performative world where everything was curated and shared and endlessly reinterpreted through digital lenses. She glanced at Instagram, Amelia's perfectly filtered brunch spread, and felt a flicker of envy mixed with exhaustion. Another carefully constructed illusion to navigate. The sunshine beat down on the park bench as she ate her sandwich, turning leaves into shimmering coins stamped with light. Was this warmth real, or just another carefully constructed illusion? Perhaps all experience was filtered through someone else's lens, even if that someone was gone. A static overlay obscuring true perception. Each moment fractured into countless interpretations before reaching consciousness. She looked up at the sky, searching for clarity among shifting clouds, instead found only more sunshine, and tasted another faint trace of Caleb's quiet accusations on her tongue. The taste wasn't anger so much as a gentle correction, as if you were still silently editing every sentence of her life even now. She added another entry to her list. Gentle correction. It felt ominous somehow, less about language than about ownership itself.